Welcome. Dear learner, we are discussing about the particle accelerator and detector. Particle accelerators are used to accelerate the particle, or it is used to increase the velocity of a particle. Now this accelerated particle can be bombarded on target to study the nuclear reaction. There are different types of a particle accelerator, such as linear accelerator, that is a LINAC. Then second particle accelerator is a cyclotron. Then third accelerator is a betatron, and then synchrotron. These are the particle accelerator. Friends, in this lecture, we have to see what is cyclotron. Cyclotron is the particle accelerator which is used to accelerate the positive charge particle such as a proton or alpha particle. This cyclotron is discovered by American scientist Ernst in 1939, and for this innovation he got Nobel Prize. So particle accelerator cyclotron consists of two hollow semicircular D-shaped metal plate. Okay, so cyclotron. First, cyclotron is used to accelerate the positive charge particle such as proton and alpha particle. And this high energy particle can be bombarded on target to study the nuclear reaction. Cyclotron consists of two hollow metallic semicircular metal plate, D-shaped metal plate known as dies. Okay, so here two D-shaped metal plate, and this is known as dies. Okay, now the alternating potential, high frequency alternating potential is applied across these two dies. Okay, so here alternating potential, high frequency alternating potential is applied across the dies. Now the ion source is a place midpoint between the gap of two dies. Okay, so here ion source is a place. We can simply use ion source, or simply we can use a gas. Helium gas can be introduced between the two dies to produce alpha particle. We can introduce hydrogen to produce the proton. Okay, or simply we can place ion source at a midpoint between the gap of two dies. This die is considered as a D1, and this die is considered as a D2. Now the magnetic field is applied across these two dies. First, these two dies are placed in an evacuated chamber in which there is a low pressure gas. The dies are placed in an evacuated chamber in which there is a low pressure gas. Now magnetic field is applied across these two dies. But the magnetic field is applied such way that the plane of a dies is perpendicular to the plane of paper. Okay, and the magnetic field is applied perpendicular to the dies. Okay, and we can apply the magnetic field by using two strong electromagnet. Okay, so here is a magnetic field. This represent magnetic field is applied across the two dies. Okay, now when the ion source produce ions or positive charge particle. Now this positive charge particle, due to the alternating potential, the dies D1 is act as negative, dies D2 is act as a positive or vice versa. And due to this, the ions, positive ions or positive charge particles are enter in a dies D1. Okay, and travel semicircular path. These ions travel semicircular path in a dies D. Now the potential is alternating potential, and therefore after some time the dies D2 became negative and dies D2 became positive, so that this charge particle enter in a dies D2 and travel semicircular path or circular path. But its radius is increases. Radius of a spiral path is increases. Again, this potential is a reverse, and therefore this dies D1 became negative, D2 became positive. This potential is a reverse when the ions or charge particle is in gap, so that when the charge particle cross from one dies to other dies, okay, the charge particle, positive charge particle get kick or it is accelerated, okay, and so that it again enter in a dies D1. Again potential is reverse, so that this process is carried out, and radius of a circular path is increases. Okay, and after a number of revolution, its speed is tremendously increases. Its kinetic energy is tremendously increases. Now these charge particles get out from this window and bombarded on target. This is the target. To study the nuclear reaction, okay, this is the top view of a cyclotron. Okay, when we draw side view of a cyclotron, then it represents like this. This is N pole. Okay, this is a S pole. This is an electromagnet. We know that the strong magnetic field is applied across the dies by using two electromagnet. Okay, the plane of a dies is perpendicular to the plane of paper and perpendicular to the magnetic field. So here we can represent dies like this. So these are the two dies. Now these two dies are placed in an evacuated chamber, okay, in which there is a low pressure gas. So here this represents the evacuated chamber, okay. This is dies D1, this is dies D2. The ion source is kept here, is the ion source, okay. This is the ion source, okay. This represent magnetic field, okay. This is the potential difference or alternating potential is applied across the two dies, okay. This represent the side wheel, this represent top wheel of a cyclotron. Now we have to see the working of this cyclotron. We have to find the radius of a spiral part, okay. This radius of a spiral part, so we have to find a radius of circular orbit or spiral part. Circular orbit. First we have to find radius of a circular orbit. Then we have to find angular velocity of a charged particle. Okay. Then we have to find the energy of a charged particle. That is the kinetic energy of a charged particle. So kinetic energy of charged particle. Okay. After that we have to find the potential difference across the dies. Okay. The potential difference across the dies. Okay. After that we have to find the frequency of applied potential. Okay. So we have to find all these terms. So first, a radius of a circular orbit. First we have to find a radius of circular orbit. A radius of circular orbit, or simply we have to find the radius of a spiral path. We know that the charged particles travel in a dies. It travels in a circular path, because we know that when charged particles travel in a magnetic field, its path is a circular, and for circular motion we require the centripetal force. Okay, so that the necessary centripetal force is provided by force due to the magnetic field. Okay, and we know that the force due to the magnetic field is BQV. Okay, force due to the magnetic field, okay, it is a BQV. It is equal to the centripetal force. the centripetal force is provided by force due to the magnetic field. And centripetal force can be written as mv square divided by r. But here we consider v1 and r1. Okay? And therefore, r1 it is equal to this v, this v1 get cancelled. Okay? We can write r1 it is equal to m. Here the charge E it is considered as a Q, and therefore we can write here this is a Q. Okay? So R1 it is equal to N V1 square, N V1, okay, divided by B into Q. And therefore, the radius of a spiral path is depend on mass of a charged particle. It is depend on velocity of a charged particle. It is depend on the magnetic field applied across the two dies, and it is also depend on charge on the particle. Okay? From this we can say that the radius of the path or radius of a circular orbit is directly proportional to velocity of a charged particle. Now, when the charged particles are enter in a dies, it travels circular path, and when semicircular path. But when this charged particle complete this semicircular path, the potential difference across the dies is a reverse. That is, this dies is a negative, this is a positive, and after some time, this dies D1 became positive, and this became negative. Okay, and charged particle having positive charge, and therefore it is attracted toward the negative plate. Okay, and when the charged particle cross the dies, or they are in between the dies, it get kick. Okay, and due to this kick, its velocity is increases. The velocity of a charged particle is increases when the charged particle cross the gap. Okay, each gap, and therefore velocity is increases. Hence, the radius of a circular path is also increases, and therefore the charged particles travel in a spiral path with increase in a radius. Okay, so this is related to radius of a circular orbit. Now we have to find the angular velocity of a charged particle. Angular velocity of charged particle. Okay, angular velocity of a charged particle. Now, we know that relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. V is equal to R omega. Okay, V is equal to R omega. Or simply, we can say that V1 is equal to R1 omega. Okay, and therefore omega it is equal to V1 upon R1. Okay, if we consider this is equation number 1. From equation number 1, equation 1 we get. Okay, omega, it is equal to V1 upon m V1 divided by B into 3. Okay, and therefore this V1 get cancelled. Therefore omega is equal to BQ upon M. So from this equation, this is considered as equation number 2. This equation gives the angular velocity of the charged particle, that is a positive charge particle. Okay, the angular velocity of a positive charge particle is independent on velocity of a charge particle, linear velocity of charge particle. It is depend on charge to mass ratio, that is a Q upon M. It is also depend on the magnetic field applied across the two dies. Okay, so angular velocity is independent on velocity, linear velocity of a charged particle. It is depend on charge to mass ratio and also the magnetic field applied across the two dies. So this is related to angular velocity of a charged particle. Now we have to find the kinetic energy of a charged particle. Okay, so third point is a kinetic energy of charged particle. Okay, kinetic energy of a charged particle. For that, again, when the charged particles are travel in the dies, due to the magnetic field, it will travel semicircular path, or the necessary centripetal force is provided by the force due to the magnetic field. Force due to the magnetic field can be written as BQ into V. It is equal to centripetal force can be written as mv square divided by r. The capital R is the radius of outermost path of a circular orbit. Capital R is radius of outermost path of a circular orbit. Okay, so again here this V get cancelled, and therefore we can say that V is equal to BQ divided by M. Okay, BQ divided by M into capital R. Okay, we can represent like this. Okay, V is equal to B, extremely sorry. V is equal to BQR divided by capital. Okay, squaring both sides, we get V square, it is equal to B square Q square R square divided by M square. But kinetic energy, it is equal to kinetic energy of a charged particle, or simply we can say that the energy of charged particle. We can represent it by capital E. It is equal to half mv square. Okay, but v square is equal to b square q square r square divided by m square, and therefore kinetic energy of charged particle are simply the energy of a charged particle, accelerated charged particle. It is half m into b square q square r square divided by m square. This m get cancelled, and therefore energy E is equal to half b square q square r square divided by m. Okay, so this equation represents the energy of a charged particle, kinetic energy of a charged particle. Okay, now we have to find the potential difference across the two plates. Okay, this equation represents the kinetic energy of a charged particle. Okay, now we have to find potential difference across the dies. Okay, so for that kinetic energy is equal to half b square q square r square divided by m, but energy E is equal to q into v. Okay, where v represent the potential difference and q represent the charge on the positive charge particle. Okay, E is the energy. When we equate these two equations, we get q into v, it is equal to half b square q square r square divided by m. Okay, and therefore potential difference, it is half b square q square r square divided by m into q. This q get cancelled. Therefore potential difference across the two dies is half b square q into r square divided by m. Okay, this represents the potential difference across the two dies. Okay, so we find the radius of a spiral path, which is directly proportional to the velocity of a charged particle. So R1 is equal to mv1 divided by bq, because the force due to the magnetic field provide necessary centripetal force. After that we find the angular velocity of a charged particle, and it is omega is equal to bq divided by m. Okay, after that we find the kinetic energy of a charged particle, and that kinetic energy, it is equal to half b square q square r square divided by m. After that we find the potential difference across the two dies, and the potential difference across the two dies depend on the magnitude of a magnetic field. It is depend on the charge on charged particle. It is depend on the radius of outermost orbit, and it is also depend on the mass of a charged particle. Okay, now we have to find the frequency of alternating potential across the two dies. This term is also very important because the applied potential must have frequency, that is the time required by particle to travel semicircular path is always half of a period. Okay, time required by particle to travel semicircular path, it is always half of a period. So we have to find the frequency of the applied potential. Okay. So here 6, frequency of applied potential. Okay. So time required by particle to travel semicircular path, it is always equal to half of period. And therefore we can say that pi upon omega, it is equal to t upon 2. Okay. Or simply we can say that t is equal to 2 pi upon omega. Period t is equal to 2 pi upon omega. Now, the frequency is a reciprocal of a period and therefore n is equal to 1 upon t. Okay? And therefore n is equal to 1 upon t. 1 upon t means 2 pi upon omega. So it is equal to omega upon 2 pi. N is equal to omega upon 2 pi. But omega is equal to bq upon m. Okay. So when we put here bq upon m divided by 2 pi, so we get bq upon 2 pi into m. This is formula for frequency of a applied potential. Frequency of applied potential is depend on charge to mass ratio of a charged particle. It is depend on applied magnetic field. The frequency of alternating potential is depend on charge to mass ratio of a charged particle. It is also depend on the magnitude of magnetic field applied across the two dies. Okay. Now, from this we can say that BQ is equal to, okay, M is equal to BQ upon 2 pi into M. So BQ it is equal to 2 pi M into N. BQ is equal to 2 pi M into N. Okay. Now, when we put this term in this term, okay, that is energy. Okay, we get E is equal to half B square Q square. It represents 4 pi square M square N square. BQ square, B square Q square means 4 pi square M square N square, okay, into R square divided by M, okay. This M get cancelled. 2 2s are 4. So it is equal to 2 pi square M N square into R square. So this is the energy of a charged particle in terms of frequency. Frequency of an applied field across the two dyes. So this is related to cyclotron. So cyclotron is a particle accelerator which is used to accelerate the positive charge particle, and this accelerated charge particle can be bombarded on target to study the nuclear reaction. Okay, so all these terms are very important while considering cyclotron. Okay, in next lecture we have to see what is GM counter. Thank you.